Well, one other point that stood out to me in the sales story was the power statement. Can you give the audience of insurance professionals out there an example of what a power statement could be in a sales story?
Yeah. And I'll use one of my clients as an example. It's the example I use in the book Sales Truth. Um, Instead of saying, we do this, we do that, we're so big, if you've got 20 or 30 or 40 seconds or a minute to do a setup of your company and your offering for your prospect, what I'm going to advocate is that you lead with a few of the big things that you help them with. And then maybe you plug in one or two offerings and a reason or two that you're different in your approach. Those are the three building blocks of the story. The issues you address for customers and the outcomes you achieve. That's number one. And that's what you lead with because that's where the power comes from. What you sell is the smallest part. And I sandwich that in the middle, right? Your insurance. If you're the Mack truck people, which is the example I'll use, your trucks. And then a few reasons why you're better and different than the other choices. And those are the three building blocks that make for a great story. So the power statement is when you combine all those in a very conversational tone, whether it's in an email, and this is a great length for a voicemail or an email. This is a 30-second voicemail or a few line email with some bullet points.
Okay.
But what typically I'm going to be the Mack truck sales guy. Okay. I've done a lot of work with Mack trucks, and their typical sales guy is very proud of the Bulldog and made in America. And they are selling for a dealership that has 17 locations and they've worked there for 33 years and it's a family held business. And they love to talk about all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But you know what's going on in the trucking world? Everyone who has a fleet of trucks is desperate to find and keep drivers because there's a huge driver shortage. They're under pressure to increase fuel economy because that's a huge expense, especially right now when fuel prices are so high. And they're getting killed by downtime because when your truck breaks, you miss a delivery, you piss off a customer, and you lose revenue. So knowing that, my power statement, if I'm a Mack truck sales guy, and everyone that's hearing this will very quickly translate this into your own world, and you'll plug in your own talking points that fit your type of business. But my consulting to the Mack salespeople, which I do all the time, is why don't you stop telling us how long you've been in business and every Mack truck is made in America and how proud you are of the Bulldog? And what if you said something like this? Hey, Joe, let's say Joe's the fleet manager at a massive fleet of trucks, right? Hey, Joe, I'm helping a lot of fleet managers right now who are absolutely up against the wall because they cannot find or keep good drivers. They're facing tremendous pressure to increase fuel economy because fuel costs are out of control. And they are desperate to reduce downtime because it's hurting revenue and it's damaging customer relationships. Those are the big things I'm helping them with. Some of our new trucks are lined up exactly with the way to solve those particular problems. And I can't wait to share with you some of these offerings. And our dealership's really different in our approach. The way we do financing, the way we do customer service, our footprints put us in a position to be very different in how we could serve you. That's it. That was 30 seconds. But the power came from, I didn't lead with, we're so big, we're so great, we're made in America. I led with, people like you are desperate for A, they better figure out B, they really want to achieve C. And if you can string some points like that together, that is the beginning of a power statement. And whether it's a voicemail, a phone call, the opening conversation in a sales call, or you put that on a PowerPoint slide, all of that changes the dynamic and you bring so much power to this conversation. And now you're viewed up here. You're not a commodity seller. You're the expert who addresses all these issues, and it changes the whole dynamic.